Welcome to the Renaissance Center. I'm Susie Stockwell, and today is Thursday, June 27th. Today, we are joining efforts with Joliet Rotary, as well as the Joliet Area Historical Museum, to put on Business After Hours. We are very excited to be a partnership with Rotary and the Joliet Area Historical Museum, and we are expecting well over 300 people today. We've got tons of fun, and we have a lot of food to serve to the public. So they're going to come through, and they're going to go through the museum, and then come to the Renaissance Center to enjoy Business After Hours. I am here with the Rotarians and co-chairs, Mike and Ed. Mike, tell me a little bit about Rotary, and I know that the two of you are actually past presidents. Tell me a little bit about your involvement and what you accomplished when you were a president.
Okay, thanks, Susie. Yes, we're here tonight at the Joliet Chamber Business After Hours celebrating the centennial of the Joliet Rotary Club. This is a big milestone for us. We were chartered in August of 1913, so August 3rd is our big celebration, and we've had a year-long list of activities that we've done, and this is one of the activities kind of culminating the end of the Rotary celebration. Of course, the final event will be our gala.
Okay.
And I served as president in 2008 and 2009. And I think some of the highlights of my year is we saw quite a bit of membership growth that year. I think we gained about a net of 10 new members, and that means some members, due to work or transfers or personal situations, would have to step off. But at the end of the year, we had about 10 more members than when we started. The other thing I think I did during my year is we did what was called Rotary on the Road, where we went to some different locations within the community to hold our Rotary meetings. Typically, we always hold them here at the Joliet Renaissance Center, but we went every quarter. We tried to go to a different location.
And tell me, when you're saying that people had to step off, if somebody wanted to join Rotary, what are the obligations in which they have to do? Because Rotary is they do great things for the community. What would they have to do if they were thinking about joining? What commitment would they have to give?
Well, first off, Rotary is an invitation-only club. So part of the principles of Rotary is you need to be a leader within your company or business. Decision maker. So if you have an interest in getting involved in Rotary, and it's also a classification organization, so we only allow a couple of each type of business classifications. Now within a certain type of business there may be several classifications, but part of the purpose of Rotary is to network with other business people, so we don't want all banquet managers in Rotaries. So we do a classification. So if you're interested, if you know a Rotarian, or if you go to our website, jolietrotary.com, you can inquire, and then typically a Rotarian will bring a guest to a meeting and see if it's something they'd be interested in, and then we go through an application process and see if there is a spot available for them.
Okay. Now, one unique thing that I had noticed when you were a president are the high school kids. Tell me a little bit about the high school kids that come in and why they're there to visit.
Okay, well, we have a couple different high school programs. One is we have a Student of the Month that the high schools select. It's typically based on leadership and academic abilities, and they're selected for the month, and they attend our Rotary meetings for that month. So during the school year, we have a different student, and we do the two Joliet Public Schools and Joliet Catholic, along with Lewis University and Joliet Junior College, and University of St. Francis also. So they attend our meetings, and just to kind of have them interact with some business leaders as they've demonstrated leadership skills. Then we also have what's called the Interact Club at Joliet West High School, which is kind of an introduction into Rotary and teaching some of the high school students about our motto, which is service above self, and getting them involved in service projects.
Wow. See, that's a big accomplishment for the high school kids. And I know that when they call, if it's snowing or something like that, they're all nervous, to come, and they think they don't think they know how important it is for them to be here. So congratulations on that. So you were president until 2010?
2009. Our Rotary year runs from July 1 to June 30th. So my term expired June 30th, 2009.
Okay, well, thank you. Now, Ed, now you're the past president. Tell me your biggest accomplishment when you were a president.
Sure, Susan, and thank you for everything you do for us. Mike covered a lot already, but I was president back in 95, 96. And back then we did a lot of international projects, and one of them we had a long-term exchange students, and that's exposing students from other countries to life in America and also to Rotary. So we did a lot with youth exchange, students from other countries. Our student back then was from Italy and one from Brazil, so we actually had two that year. And it was just exciting to learn about their culture and also what they thought of Americans and life here in America. So it was fun getting to know and exchanging ideas and getting to know their family and them getting to know our family.
That is so neat. Now let's talk about the centennial that's coming up because this is very exciting. Is it just open to Rotarians or is it open to the public?
It's open to Rotarians, friends, families, so it's invitation only through Rotarians. And there will be a lot of guests there. We're inviting, we help start a lot of other Rotary clubs around the area, so we're inviting them, so there'll be other Rotarians from around the Chicagoland area. Our special guest speaker is our Rotary International President. He's from Norman, Oklahoma, but he's the Rotary International President worldwide. And Rotary is an international service club. It was the first international service club started in 1905, actually. We started back, as Mike said, in 1913. But we're excited to have him here and share his thoughts about Rotary worldwide and all the different things we're doing. We do a lot of things locally, and that's one reason for this centennial is to share with the community everything that Rotary does. I think in some sense we're one of the best kept secrets in our community. There's a lot of things we do behind the scenes. We don't, really too often pat ourselves on the back. We help start different programs. We help provide financial support to different programs, but we don't make a lot of publicity out of it. We just want to give back. Our motto in Rotary is service above self. And when Mike was talking about how do you join Rotary, it's really business people who want to get involved and give back to their community. And we have, over the years, hundreds and hundreds of business people have been involved in the Joliet Rotary Club giving back to their community.
That is so neat. So the last question I have for you is what was your biggest accomplishment that you did when you were president?
Boy, you're putting me on the spot there. I know Mike mentioned membership. I know when I was president, I was one of the youngest presidents in the Joliet Rotary Club, so I guess that was one accomplishment just to make it. I was introduced to Rotary as a student, so Mike alluded to the students who are with us each month, and that's how I was exposed to Rotary. So when I opened my business here in Joliet, I reached out to a Rotarian, and I said, I would love to get involved. And I got involved, got involved on the board then, and then eventually became president. And we, too, really focus on membership. It's really about attracting good people from our community, good business people who want to get involved and give back. So I would say that was one big accomplishment. Another thing, immunization. Polio Plus is a big effort that Rotary does throughout the world. But locally, immunizing, getting all our young kids immunized at the right time, getting that education out to all the parents out there is a big thing. Many of us probably take that for granted, but not all our young kids are immunized at the right time. So my year, we had a big focus on immunizing young kids. So that was through the health department and through our local hospitals.
Oh, wow. That's a huge accomplishment, both of you. I'm very proud of you. And thank you for allowing me to interview you. And I see that Business After Hours has started. And good luck with your centennial and good luck with tonight.
Okay.
Thank you, Susie.
Well, I am also here with two past presidents. I am here with George and I'm here with Bill. And they're currently also Rotarians. When were you president, George?
It was back at the 1980, 82, 83 year, Rotary year.
Okay.
Long time ago it seems like now, but just yesterday.
I know. Now I'm asking everybody when you were president, what was your greatest accomplishment that you were proud of before you left presidency?
Well, we had a team going on. Judge Bob Barron now was just getting Rotary real involved and raising funds to rework at the YMCA, a big field. So I was just after him, and there was a lot of stuff we had to follow through. So it was really a follow-through year, making sure the commitments were continuing and people were still involved and that type of thing. That was the beginning of a series of years when we raised a lot of money for community projects. So that's what that was a lot of, the whole board was involved. The board works from, you work on almost an 8-year, 10-year cycle to get into Rotary management. And so that was what I was very happy with, that the club kept going along and progressing on this big fundraising project.
Yeah, well, that is a huge accomplishment, because if you don't have follow-through, I mean, you can have great ideas, but if you don't have follow-through and get it done, it's not going to get done, and you guys just keep going further and further and further along. What did you do what year were you president?
I think about 1991, approximately.
Okay.
Yes.
And what was one of your greatest accomplishments that you felt good of going out of being a president?
At the time that we followed through with we had just completed the Rotary Field project out at the YMCA, and that George was talking about a moment ago, and we then we needed to redefine what our next projects were going to be and how we were going to keep the club going in the tradition that it had been going in. Prior to that, starting that, we kind of had used the theme of, what have we done lately, and so we reestablished a series of means to go ahead and continue to raise the money to fund the major projects that we wanted to do.
Bill, how long have you been in Rotary?
49 years.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and George, how long have you been in Rotary?
Oh, since 1973.
Okay. I want to know, I mean, I know what the building had looked like. I see pictures of it. But tell me a little bit about when you walked up to the Renaissance Center, when you were here with Rotary, when it first started here. What was like the onset scene?
Tell me what you mean by the onset.
Like the streets. Were there streets?
Well, yes. First of all, no, they weren't. They weren't there. First of all, prior to that, we were meeting in the YMCA across the street, and so when we came across the street to our meetings here, the building looked very similar to what it does now. It wasn't. I don't think it was until the 70s maybe that we came over here. I'm not sure whether it was 70s or 80s, but this had been D'Amico's 214 prior to that, and the building looked the same when you walked in as it did when Earl D'Amico ran it then. And if you were to walk in today, except for the fact you don't have a bunch of people sitting around the lobby drinking and having a great time, it would look the same way if you walk in off of the street here and then look right straight ahead.
Okay, that's good and that's bad. The color contrast I would love to change, but I wouldn't want to change the ambiance.
When I was 16, now I mean that's 60 years, over 60 years ago.
Okay.
I was an usher for the Holly Club Ball,
Okay.
and that was held upstairs in the ballroom, and the upstairs room was the same then as it is now.
That's scary.
Because it was a top place to come in Joliet at that time.
Right. Oh gosh, thanks, Bill. And what were you saying, George?
Well, we met in the Merifed room downstairs. We didn't really meet upstairs in the ballroom at that time. And the Merifed room was, very handy, or I should say very cozy for us. And you sat in different kinds of tables, not round tables. They were longer tables. We had almost 160, 170 members when we came in here, more than maybe right this specific second. But anyway, we met down in the Merifed room, and it was, they were good meetings. They were packed in there normally. It was full, so to speak.
Yeah.
And but the colors changed a little bit, but not.
No, the colors, but still, it's the disadvantage. The reason we went upstairs, disadvantage of the Merifed room was when our attendance was good. The people on this end of the room would be, you couldn't see. You couldn't see the dais,
Yeah. That's changed a little bit since we got the audio visual, but not much.
Yeah. Right.
Well, guys, thank you very much, and I would love to get some pictures so I can display them throughout the Renaissance Center of the years you guys have all been here. I mean, it's your 100th centennial, correct?
Correct.
It's just it's inspiring, and I give you guys a lot of credit for everything that you do for the community. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I am here with Mary from the Chamber. Mary and I have teamed together for many, many years. She does a great job at the Chamber. Mary, tell me a little bit about Joliet Chamber so that the community understands what exactly it is you guys do for the community.
And it's a simple. We're the voice of the business world.
Exactly.
Exactly. We do a lot of things. We have a lot of we do events, of course, for networking, for people to get to know each other, so they can, market their own business, market themselves. But we do things from there all the way to lobbying in Springfield and Washington on behalf of business issues.
Tell me a little bit about the Chamber Drive, because I think that is so important. Tell the public how they could get involved if they wanted to get involved.
You mean when we do the membership drive? Okay, I wasn't exactly sure which one you meant. One of the biggest things that we have done in years past, and we've kind of changed it up a little bit, is we would have a membership drive where people would collectively all join in 1 week. We've kind of done away with that a little bit, and we're doing it a little bit differently now. But for a business person that might be watching this, you need to join the Chamber because you need to be part of the business community. It's important to be part of a cohesive group that comes together to help each other and to be part of one another in the Joliet community.
And people don't realize that, because I've been on the Chamber Drives. I believe in it. I try to at least bring 2 or 3 people to business after hours when I well, not at my place, but when I go, so they can see what it does for them, because it's amazing, from the email blast that they have to the faxes to just the whole communication process.
It's a great way to get anything you might be doing, or you want other people in the community to know that you're doing. We have a way, through social media, through Chamber Blast, like you say, we have such a great way to reach into the community to let them know about your business and what you're doing.
And it totally helps, versus paying, I'm not going to say whatever area paper, $300, $500. I mean, it's so much cheaper, and they keep you updated, and they're very innovative and with the things that they do.
Yeah, we've come a long way. Being on the older side of that and learning how to do all of those things was a bit of a challenge. But the more I learned about it, the more I'm like, oh my God, this is so wonderful, from when I started to now, what we can do in the name of business and getting the word out there.
Is true. So why don't you look at the camera and tell the camera the telephone number, the contact person to get a hold of if somebody wants to get information.
You would have to call Mike Paone, that's Paone, and our phone number is 815-727-5371. And if he's not there, any one of us in the office will be happy to talk to you.
Well, thank you, Mary, very much, and good luck with everything. And I know this is going to be the largest business after hours because it's at the Renaissance Center in Joliet area Historic
we're
Museum.
Celebrating Rotary, which I'm part of, 100 years, and next year it's the Chamber's 100 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it is. So this Chamber of Commerce has been around, and we're the 4th largest in the state. So we've been around a long time.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Susie.
Well, you saved the last for the best. Tim Brophy. Tim, tell me a little bit you're the past president, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so why don't you tell me about the year that you were president?
Sure. Well, Rotary Club of Joliet, as you know, celebrating our centennial. And so this was an interesting year to serve as president. We had a lot of our past presidents working together to form our centennial committee. They put on a lot of special events throughout the year, and it really made me look good. But we did our usual thing too. The Rotary Club of Joliet is constantly looking for ways to serve the community. Sometimes we help with dollars, sometimes we help with manpower, sometimes we do both. And there's just been a lot of things going on this year that we're really proud of.
So tell me a couple things that you're proud of.
Sure. Well, for example, every year we give out dictionaries to the 4th graders in the Joliet schools, both public and private. And what happens is Joliet Rotarians will visit those 4th grade classrooms. They'll deliver these dictionaries, they're soft covered dictionaries. They have inside, we put a sticker inside with the 4-way test, the Rotary 4-way test, which is about truth, fairness, goodwill, and common beneficial work. And so we teach them a little bit about those things that we believe in and about service above self. And then, of course, we give each student one of those dictionaries. So we're really proud of that because for some of them, it's the first dictionary they'll ever have.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them, the only dictionary they'll ever
Right.
have. Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. I've been involved in that. There's no more fun than that day meeting with 4th graders because, I'm not the teacher, and it makes their day kind of fun.
Yeah, that's a huge accomplishment, and they totally respect and value that. That's something that they're going to remember the rest of their life. Tell me a little bit about the centennial that's coming up.
Yeah, well, the centennial has been a year-long celebration. We've done some fun things, we've done serious things. We had some high-minded things. We've had a piano concert by an Italian pianist named Francesco Attesti.
Wow.
Fantastic, really neat. We invited the women of Rotary, and we made a real fun day out of that. It was an evening performance, and it was really special. The centennial now will culminate with a gala, a big dinner at the Holiday Inn here in Joliet, maybe 400 or 500 people in attendance. We are fortunate enough that the Rotary International incoming president, Ron Burton, will be in attendance. That's a big deal.
Yes.
And there will be some other special guests there. Some we're not divulging at this time, but it's going to be a real celebration because Rotary is more about celebrating the service that we accomplish both locally and around the world. So when we get together, we're not talking about ourselves and what we do personally, but we're talking about what we do collectively as Rotary members here in Joliet and around the world. Rotary International is an organization of about 1.2 million members, about 35,000 clubs around the world. And they don't do things just like eradicating polio. That's one of our main goals since 1985. But by reaching out to these various countries and asking to come in and help them eradicate polio in their countries, we're actually peacemaking. We're introducing people across borders who are helping with this immunization of the children around the world. And so what started out to be an immunization and eradication of polio has turned out to be a worldwide peacemaking mission. It's really interesting.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it sounds like it. So what do you think the future you want to see Rotary get into in the future to come?
Well, Rotary follows the lead of the champions that make up the club. So we're always recruiting new members who find an outlet. They want to find an outlet for doing the things that are in their heart in a service type of way. And so from year to year, what Rotary does changes too. We do some things all the time, but we'll change a little bit too. For example, our annual raffle. We always hold a raffle to raise money, but then what we do with the money changes. We've given it to the YMCA, we've given it to Easter Seals, we've given it to all these social service agencies around town for many, many years. I mean, Joliet Rotary started, their very first project was buying uniforms and instruments for the JT Band.
Wow.
And JT Band is celebrating their centennial this year too. So we're having a lot of fun with our co-centennials.
Yeah.
But we hope to do more of that, but also follow the lead of the champions that walk in. It never ceases to amaze me the caliber, the talent of new Rotarians that come into the club, stand up and say, I want to lead in this regard, and take on a project and do it. Let me give you an example. John Spezia, local attorney. John has and his family have established a center in Malawi, Africa, where these communities can come together and teach children and gather. We've helped establish a Montessori school in that community center.
Yes.
We've built, I think, one water well, and we're in the process of two more to bring clean water to these places that don't have it now. And so that idea, that was John's generation, and of course John is a multi-generational Rotarian.
Yes.
His father was a Rotarian, and so we're very proud of the lead that John made. Now, we're able to follow. Most of us haven't been to Malawi, but we're able to help with our dollars and then with our recruiting in the local community to pay attention to that cause. For example, Club Secretary Dan Malinowski. Dan had an idea. He wanted to run in a 5K race. He's been practicing to get up to 5K. He thought, I'm not just going to run in the Rockdale, the Ramblin' Run, I think they call it, Joliet Park District's Rambling Run. Dan said, I'm going to get sponsors to cover me so much per mile, and I'm going to ask other Rotarians to do the same thing, and we're going to give away water that day, and we're going to tell people that the money we're raising is for the water project in Malawi, Africa. Now, isn't that a neat tie-in?
Yes.
We never did that before. That was all Dan's idea. Again, another Rotarian champion who said, I have an idea. I think it'll inspire people, and it'll raise some money while we have some fun. So those opportunities are available in Rotary, the largest and oldest service organization in the world, right here in Joliet for new young professionals and anybody who wants to get involved. And so we invite the community to reach out. What you find out, most of us find out, we come into Rotary to see what it can do for us, and we end up actually doing more for it once we find that love of service and get inspired by the champions around us. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, Tim, it's just overwhelming. I didn't really realize until I interviewed you exactly what you guys do. Congratulations, and we'd like to thank you for helping the community. And and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Indeed, there's a lot more. If you want to check out more, go to JolietRotary.org or look up Rotary International on the web and find out all the wonderful things they do around the world.
Thank you very much, Tim.
We're here with Tony Canos. I hear you just retired. What do you plan on doing?
Well, I try not to use the R word because the museum job was an encore career. And so now it was time to end this one because I'm going to go back. And right now I think I'm going to work for a company called the Franklin Covey Company. I've worked for them before. And I'm going to do presentations to teachers about a particular book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. So I've done it before. I used to work for them for about 17 years, and they called me up and they said, "Are you willing to do it again?" And yes, I am.
All right. And you're still on the council, right? How's that going?
Well, right now, I've left the museum as the executive director, but I do serve on the development committee here at the museum. So I'm excited about that because as I was wrapping things up here at the museum, we still had a number of things I'm excited about them. They're going to be a lot of fun for the museum, and they're going to bring additional people here. So, and the other thing in my background, my volunteer job right now is I'm on the District 86 school board. So look out.
Yeah,
okay, so that's something else for me to do.
So District 86, Dirksen, Eisenhower.
Right. All the
I personally went to Eisenhower, and it was
good for you.
District 86 was great. So they're earning a good man here. Okay. So you're not exactly leaving the museum, you know.
I didn't. Yeah, that's why the retirement word is inappropriate. You know what? I took this job, and let's tell everybody that's watching this. I took the job for 6 months because they just wanted me to sort of be the bridge between a former director and a new one, and things didn't work out the way they wanted. And so they said, "Can you stay longer?" Well, the longer became 5.5 years, and that's okay. I've enjoyed it. I had a great time, but in all fairness to the museum industry, they need a professional museum person, someone that's gone through the college study, that understands everything you need to do. I was really learning this job from day to day. I had a great time with it. You know, there's no doubt about it. I'm going to miss it. I miss it already.
Oh. Well, we're glad to have you here, and thank you so much for talking with us.
Thanks for asking me. Have a good day.
You too. We're here with Greg Pierre. He is the new director of the Joliet Area Historical Museum. Tony has passed the torch on to him. What are some of your ideas and plans for this place?
Well, mostly I just want to continue Tony's good work. We've grown exponentially in the past 5.5 years, and we have a lot of exciting projects on the drawing board, so many of my goals involve just getting things that are on the drawing board off of the drawing board and into reality. Probably our biggest one right away will be the permanent exhibition of the Strike Up the Band exhibit, which was very, very popular, very well received. So look out for that to be a permanent addition to our gallery in the upcoming months. We also have tentative plans for a Sports Hall of Fame, for an expanded Route 66 Visitor Center, where we welcome guests quite literally from around the world on a regular basis. So again, it's seeing through a lot of things that Tony started, and a lot of the staff here is working towards, and very happy to be here, and hope to just continue Tony's good work.
That's awesome. We accept you here. I'm sure you're going to do a great job. Tony did have quite a bright eye for this place, and you know, as long as somebody has the passion he had, it will turn out great. Well, thank you for talking with us, and we'll talk to you soon. A great guest this evening. We have Dr. Daniels, president of Joliet Junior College. Dr. Daniels, I've seen a lot of progress with the Joliet Junior College building. I see they already have beams up. They are moving along. What else is going on with that right now?
Well, as you said, the steel is going up, and finally it starts to look like something, and that's exciting, and people get excited about that. The construction is going well. We've had a few setbacks, but the construction company is getting back on schedule. We are scheduled to have the exterior of the building up by the end of December. And then we're planning the design of the interior as we wait for state funding. That's the next hurdle, but we're getting there.
right. Well, it's looking great. I'm sure it's going to turn out beautiful. And December, wow, that's really fast.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's gonna be
they're
here.
moving along. Well, and they said the building would be up and finalized in the next 2 years.
That's correct.
That's what I'm hearing.
That is the plan. If everything goes perfectly, it'll be done by the December 2014.
Well, and I remember when we did groundbreaking ceremony, I mean, we didn't even imagine the kind of stuff that would be going on, like the construction, the loudness, but honestly, it's all going to be worth it in the end. We'll have beautiful classrooms and just a whole new spectrum of downtown Joliet.
Absolutely. It's going to make a big difference to downtown Joliet. We're really excited about it. It should bring a whole new vibe to the area, people, interest, exciting new businesses. So I can't wait for it to get going and get done.
Well, it's going to look real different. I know we have all these old buildings downtown, and now we're going to have this great new building that just looks modern, and people are going to enjoy both areas, the old buildings and the new building.
Right. I hope it starts a renaissance of getting into the old buildings and celebrating them for their character and putting new businesses in them. So,
Well, thank you so much for talking with us,
my
and we'll see you
pleasure.
soon.
Thank you.
We're here with the only David Nelson. Very fan of your jewelry. I have looked at it. I have a boyfriend at home that I'm trying to push, to go get some jewelry, so I might send him your way.
Push him in one of these days. Might have that lucky day. That diamond delight when you get your engagement ring, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get married.
I'm waiting for the surprise. So how did David Nelson's come along? What made you want to do this?
Years ago, my wife and I used to work with another jewelry store in town, and we always did like Moonlight Madness sales. This is when town was really booming. And that's when I got really interested in the jewelry business. And it was a lot of fun, And one night after one of the events we had, I said to the owner, I said, man, if I had a job like your son, I'd feel like I was on vacation. So he called me up about a month later and offered me a part of the business. Wow. And a few years later, I just decided to go on my own and open my own store, and that was like 23 years ago now. And I love it. I enjoy it. I enjoy people. My wife doesn't think I have a real job. She thinks I retired 22 years ago when I opened my store, but it is nice to have fun, make a little money, and make people happy in an event in their life. It's enjoyable.
Absolutely.
I enjoy it.
And they say, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And
That's right.
Things just become easy.
I always tell people, find something you like and pursue it and do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what kind of clubs are you active in?
I'm in the Rotary. I'm in the Boys and Girls Club. I'm in First Tee and
So many.
Guardian Angel Home.
Wow.
And I did Dancing with the Stars 2 years ago
Did you
for the
really?
Guardian Angel Home benefit.
Wow.
And it was a lot of fun. I was a nervous wreck. I won, so that was cool.
That's always a good thing when
So
you
I
win.
had to do an encore last year, so now I don't have to dance.
Okay. And business is still booming just as ever for you, I assume.
It's not booming, but we're very lucky we're still here. And, everybody, it's tough for everybody right now. It's, the economy, but, we've been lucky and things, I got to say, are good for us.
Well, good. That's
We
good
enjoy
to
what we do, like I said. My employees are awesome. If it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would do. They make me look good. We got a team. We're not just employees, but we have a team that works together. Yep. And, like someone today said, when you take a vacation, can you leave? Do you have people you can trust? I said, I could leave tomorrow for a month and I wouldn't have to worry because I do have people that can take care of me. They wouldn't like it if I was gone a month, but I could,
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. And just the support of your coworkers, employees, and everything else, I mean, I'm sure that really does help with your business and to enjoy it as well.
And they do too, and what's really cool about it is, respect you get in the community, just doing something that's fun.
Absolutely.
But anyway, and just like the Rotary, I enjoy the Rotary. They're real active people. They do a lot of things in the community, a lot of things that people don't know they're doing, but they're active. So that's why I belong to the Rotary as well.
They constantly keep in with the community.
Right, yes.
And how many years have you been active with Wish Upon a Star?
I've been in the Wish Upon a Star Foundation since it started 33 years ago. And I forgot to mention that when I was saying everything else I was in, but it's a great organization. Our offices are above my store, and we do a golf outing, we do an Easter parade, we have a 5K run coming up this September, So if people want to get involved in that, it's something really, give us a call.
And everything you do is just for kids. You really want to
Pretty
help
much
kids.
all the foundations I'm on are all kids foundations.
You enjoy helping kids, I
Yeah,
assume.
yes I do. You know, I mean, I've had people say, well, why'd you get involved with Wish Upon a Star? Do you have someone that was sick in your family? I said, no, and I hope I never do. But it's overwhelming when you can help someone as a child, because we grant a wish, and the wish is for the child as well as for the family, because it gives them a chance to enjoy their child and give them memories that they can't afford to do, because they're paying their doctor bills and traveling bills. So, it's fun to do.
Okay, so just out there, what is the one wish that has just truly touched your heart?
Well, we had one of our kids met the Pope. We had one meet Celine Dion, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow.
So yeah, those are some good ones.
Those are some great ones. I mean, I would love to meet them as a kid.
We've had simple ones where, one of the kids just wanted an electric car. We granted that too.
Well, and I know I've seen a lot with younger kids. They just, I know they'll wish for things for their family, and it becomes more of a family thing.
It does, and a lot of it is, it's harder on the parents than the kids. You meet a lot of these kids that are sick, and you wouldn't even think they were sick, and because they're so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And the parents are the weak ones, and I got to admit, if one of my kids was sick, I'd probably be the weak one too.
Absolutely.
But anyway.
Well, thank you for your time and effort into our community. We really appreciate it. I'm sure all the kids appreciate it, and I'm sure you know that when you see the enlightenment in their face.
It is. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Ward.
Andy Mihelich, tell us a little bit what you do.
Oh, right now I'm chairman of the board of the JJC trustees. I'm retired from the college, and the college gets almost all of my free time, and I'm very excited.
Absolutely, and that's something to be excited about. Now, we talked to Dr. Daniels a little bit about the new building. What are we doing with the hotel part? I know it was an old hotel. It's now a bunch of classrooms. What are we doing with that?
All right, so first of all, with the conversation with Dr. Daniels was on the new proposed multi-purpose building at the main campus. We're down here now for the Renaissance Center and the City Center campus with the Rotary Club for the Chamber After Hours. And if you walked around back, you can see the steel going up for the new City Center campus.
That's what we talked a little bit
Right,
about.
so we're going to bring down our culinary arts department to the City Center campus. We'll expand our adult and basic education, GED, and our Spanish English learning classes, as well as our worker retraining, and this will be the whole center, the hub for that. We expect to be completed sometime next year.
Wow. And that's what she was saying. They're just booming quickly through this whole process of, doing everything. And we'll have, more parking spaces. I know that's a big problem right now is a lot of parking. A lot of downtown visitors that come to the Renaissance Center complain, but once we get this done, it will be all worth it.
Oh, yes. And, after we're all done with the new building, the old hotel will be torn down and that'll be converted to additional parking as well.
And that's what's really going to make them want to come here and visit, absolutely, because the historical museum has a lot of information that people want to see. We have tons of people coming from out of town, all over the world, and then we have people that want to come eat for the Renaissance Center, the culinary department. It will work out well.
Oh, yes, it'll be fun.
And, I'm a big supporter of JJC. I have lots of family that went to JJC. I'll be starting at JJC soon. So just to see the support that we have for JJC really works out as well.
Right. Last year we had 45,000 students that take at least one class at JJC. We're big, we have community support, and we need to grow with our community.
Absolutely, and you just had a meeting the other day. You were talking to me a little bit about that earlier, and a student had said something about an increase?
Yes, for the new multi-purpose building at main campus, we asked our student government and our student trustee, do students support this building?
Right.
And the students came back and says, we'll support this through a tuition increase of $4 per hour. So that's what we based our bond total on. So this won't be something that's coming back to the taxpayers.
So you'll see the more enlightenment in the students' faces as well. They don't mind supporting JJC.
No. Students here are very smart. They know they're getting a quality education that's affordable and accessible. They know that if they got it, they should pass that on to other students coming. So we're very grateful to our students. They're very smart.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time and talking with us. It was
thank you.
great meeting you and talking with you. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Just want to take a quick moment to thank everybody for their time taken out to speak with us about what they're doing with their business and how they're doing. We want to thank you for watching and keeping up about Joliet and downtown area. This is Joliet Junior College Renaissance Center Business After Hours. I'm Katie Sohn. Thank you for watching.